Good day all. Welcome back to this course, Research Methodology. Today we'll be discussing Module 3, which deals with the research design and methodological approaches, building the blueprint for rigorous research. By way of module content, we'll be looking at the meaning, components of research methodology. We'll be looking at quantitative research design and its application. We'll be looking at qualitative research design and its application. We'll also be looking at mixed methods research design. We'll be looking at systematic review and meta-analysis approach. We'll be looking at the time series and longitudinal research design. We'll be looking at the selection of appropriate research designs for different disciplines. Then we'll be concluding with this session. Now, by way of introduction, what is research methodology? This is the strategic framework of your work. Research methodology is the systematic, theoretical, and practical framework that guides how research is designed, conducted, analyzed, and interpreted. It's just more than tools. It encompasses the logic, the reasoning, the philosophical assumptions behind your choices. The key purpose here is that it ensures accuracy, reliability, validity, and ethical integrity. It allows others to understand, evaluate, and replicate your work. Think of it as your architectural plan for your research building. What are some of the core components of a research methodology? Let's look at the essential building blocks. We have one, your research approach and philosophy in terms of positivism, interpretivism, and pragmatism. Then we have two, we have your research design, either quantitative, qualitative, or mixed methods. I already explained that before. Then you have population and sampling. The research methodology is usually chapter 3 of a typical research work. We have population and sampling, who you study and how you select them. Then we have your data collection methods and instruments. Is it going to be through a survey? Is it going to be through interviews? Is it going to be through observations? Then we have data analysis techniques. What statistical tests are you going to carry out? Is it going to be a thematic analysis? Then we have validity, reliability, and trustworthiness. This is to ensure the quality of your data. Then we have ethical considerations. That is informed consent, confidentiality. All components must align logically with your research problems and objectives. Now let's look at the quantitative research design, measuring, testing, and generalizing. The purpose of quantitative research design is to explain, predict, or establish relationships using numerical data. The key features here include it's highly structured, controlled, and is very objective. It tests hypotheses using statistics. It aims for generalizability, that is broad findings. Now, some of the common designs here is experimental, can be quasi-experimental, it can be descriptive, surveys, it can also be correlational. Now, the applications here, it is applied in social sciences, in management sciences, in health sciences or clinical trials, in economics, in education for assessment. It answers questions like how many, what is the relationship, what is the effect. Now let's look at qualitative research design, the understanding the meaning and experience. The purpose is to explore meanings, experiences, and social phenomenon in depth. The key features here is that it is flexible, it is exploratory, it is context-based. Researcher as primary instrument. It produces rich descriptive data, text, audio, or video. The common designs here is phenomenology, ethnology, case study, grounded theory, and narrative. Applications here is humanity, in education, in sociology, in nursing, in anthropology, in policy studies. Answers questions like how, why, what is the experience of. Now let's look at mixed methods research design, integrating strengths for deeper insights. The purpose is to provide a comprehensive understanding by combining quantitative, that is numerical, and qualitative, that is perception approaches in one study. The core principle is triangulation, that is using different methods to cross validate findings. The key designs here is this explanatory sequential, that is from that is quantitative to qualitative, explain the numbers. There's exploratory sequential, that is qualitative to quantitative, test the themes. There's convergence parallel, that is quant plus quant simultaneously, that is compare and merge. Let's look at the application. Compress is applied to complex problems in education, health services, research, program evaluation, organizational studies. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And let's look at systematic review plus meta analysis. That is synthesizing existing evidence rigorously. Systematic review. This is a rigorous, transparent method to identify, appraise, and synthesize all relevant studies on a specific question. Meta analysis. This is the statistical pooling of resources or results from multiple studies to calculate an overall effect size. The process is a defined protocol to exhaustive search to critical appraiser to structured synthesis. Applications from evidence-based practices in medicine, in nursing, in policy formulation, in educational interventions, in summarizing research fields. It provides the highest level of evidence to inform decisions. Let's look at time series and longitudinal designs. That is studying changes over time. Let's look at time series design. This analyzes data on one variable collected at regular intervals, e.g., stock prices, monthly sales. The purpose is to identify trends, circles, forecast, evaluate interventions. Looking at longitudinal designs, this follows the same individuals, groups over an extended period, e.g., panel study, cohort study. The purpose is study development, life cost changes, long-term effects. The application is in economics, public health, developmental psychology, educational tracking, policy impact assessment. It reviews dynamics that a single snapshot, that is cross-sectional study, cannot. This is what the time series design does. Let's look at selecting the right design, research design. Alignment is key. The choice depends on a strategic fit between research problems and questions. What do you need to know? It also depends on the nature of required data, numbers versus narrative versus both. It also depends on disciplinary norms and standards. It also depends on practical constraints, your time, your resources, your access. The guiding principle is let your research questions drive your methodology. Now let's have design selection by discipline, matching methodology. Now in art and humanity, it's qualitative, that is textual analysis, is historical, is phenomenological. In social sciences, it's mixed methods, often ideal. That is surveys plus interviews plus ethnography. In management sciences or business, quantitative is best, using metrics, modeling, and quantitative, that is case studies. In education, mixed method is also better. That is test scores plus classroom observations. For engineering or ICT, quantitative or experimental is best. That is testing, simulation, and mixed methods. Usability studies. There is no one size fits all design. Now, let's look at some of the common pitfalls to avoid when you're talking about your methodology. Avoid mismatch. Use survey, that is quantitative, to answer a why question. Using survey to answer a why question instead of using a qualitative. Overambition. Overambition. Choosing an overcomplex design without the resources or expertise. Convenient sampling. Letting easy access detect your method instead of your question. Ignoring ethics, not properly addressing consent, confidentiality, or potential harm, neglecting validity or trustworthiness, failing to demonstrate your data conclusions are credible. Now, how do you ensure quality and ethics? Let's look at the pillars of credible research. For quantitative studies, validity, are you measuring what you intend? Reliability, will you get consistent results? For qualitative studies, trustworthiness, there should be credibility, transferability, defendability, conformability. For all studies, there should be ethical compliance. There should be informed consent, confidentiality, minimizing risk, and integrity. Rigor plus ethics equals credible, impactful research. Now, how do you go from design to execution? Your research roadmap. Number one, define your problem and questions clearly. Two, select a design that aligns perfectly. Three, detail your method, sampling, instrument, analysis plan. Four, pilot your instrument and procedures. Five, execute your plan with rigor and adaptability. Six, analyze and interpret data in line with your research. Seven, report transparently, including limitations. A strong design is your best preparation for research challenges. By way of conclusion, what are some of the key takeaways? Build your study on a solid foundation. Research methodology is the strategic framework for your entire study. Choose your design based on a logical alignment with your questions, discipline, and context. Quantitative provide breadth and generalization. Qualitative provide depth and context, while mixed method combines their strengths. For specialized designs, like systematic review, longitudinal, answers specific type of questions. Rigor and ethics are non-negotiable for credible results. Your design determines your discovery. That will be all for Emoji 3. I'll see you in Emoji 4.